Have a great day, students. Welcome back to our online lectures. In previous section, we start our fourth chapter, that is CPU scheduling. In previous lecture, we learned what is CPU scheduling, their objectives, CPU and I/O cycle, and types of CPU scheduling. CPU scheduling is the basic of multi-programmed operating system. Means CPU scheduling is a process which allow one process to use the CPU while the execution of another process is on hold due to unavailability of any resource like I/O system, thereby making full use of CPU. The main aim of CPU scheduling is to make the system efficient, fast and fair. It is the CPU and I/O cycle. The success of CPU scheduling depends upon the process execution is a cycle of CPU execution and I/O cycle. Processes alternate back and forth between these two states. This figure shows the CPU cycle and I/O cycle. The steps are followed by process alternatively. Process execution begins with CPU cycle. It is followed by an I/O cycle, which is followed by another CPU cycle, then another I/O burst, and so on. The concept of CPU cycle is a process which have a large number of very long CPU cycle while few number of very small I/O cycle. Then such process is called as CPU cycle. Means a process maximum time spent in CPU, that process is called as CPU cycle. Another side, that is the I/O cycle. A process which have a very large number of very long I/O cycle while very small CPU cycle is known as I/O cycle process. In short, a processes which spend more time in I/O state, this process is called as the I/O cycle. Next, types of CPU scheduling. There are basic two types of CPU scheduling, that is preemptive scheduling and non-preemptive scheduling. The first, preemptive scheduling. A process of interrupting a currently running process and moving it to the ready state by the operating system is known as preemptive scheduling. The decision of preemptive a process may be performed due to some reason. Those are when a new process arrives, when an interrupt occurs which places a blocked process in the ready state. It may be done periodically based on clock interrupt, when a process switches from running state to the ready state. Otherwise, when a process switches from the waiting state to the ready state. In short, in preemptive scheduling, the currently running process will stop when high priority algorithm or process is arrived. The second hand, that is the non-preemptive scheduling. In non-preemptive scheduling, the currently running process continue to execute even if a high priority process enters in the system, is known as non-preemptive scheduling. The currently running process will stop only if it is terminated or it requires some I/O operations to be performed or its time slice is over. Non-preemptive scheduling gives a high throughput. High throughput means a large number of processes get executed. Non-preemptive scheduling is not suitable for real-time processes. In short, non-preemptive scheduling, the currently running process cannot be stopped when a high priority process enters in the system. Today we are going to discuss on what is dispatcher and scheduling criteria. The concept of dispatcher is The component involved in the CPU scheduling function is called as dispatcher. The dispatcher is the module that gives control of CPU to the process selected by the short-term scheduler. Short-term scheduler, it is one kind of software where processes are selected for the execution, means to get the CPU for the further execution process. The dispatcher have some functions including switching context, switching to user mode, jumping to the proper location in the user program to restart that program from where it left last time. The dispatcher should be as fast as possible given that it is invoked during every process switch. The time taken by the dispatcher to stop one process and start another process is known as dispatch latency. Next, we will discuss the scheduling criteria. There are many different criteria to check when considering the best scheduling algorithm. Means there are different algorithms available for scheduling, because scheduling, it is the very important action to execute the processes. Every algorithm have their own properties for process scheduling. The various characteristics of an algorithm which decide whether a scheduling algorithm is best or not is known as scheduling criteria. There are certain properties of algorithm which should be taken into consideration while selecting an algorithm. Each and every processes have certain properties, means it has a certain characteristics. By using those and considering those for the selecting an algorithm, these properties are very useful in deciding which scheduling algorithm is best in which situation for the CPU. The different scheduling criteria are listed here. That is CPU utilization, throughput, turnaround time, waiting time and response time. In short, scheduling criteria has used for the CPU scheduling algorithms. Which characteristics are used for comparison can make a substantial difference in which algorithm is judged to be best. Now, these criteria are explained one by one in detail. The first, that is the CPU utilization. Today's modern systems are based on multi-programming, and the basic and main goal of multi-programming to utilize CPU maximum as well as I/O utilization. So, the first criteria, that is the CPU utilization. We want to keep the CPU as busy as possible. Conceptually, CPU utilization can range from 0 to 100%. Means, for a scheduling, it is important to keep the CPU always busy so that it can be fully utilized. Theoretically, CPU can be utilized in percentage from 0 to 100%. But in real-time system, CPU utilization ranges from 40% to 90%. For lightly loaded system, CPU is utilized 40%, and for heavily loaded system, the CPU is utilized 90%. In short, the CPU utilization to make out the best use of CPU and not to waste any CPU cycle. CPU would be working most of the time. Considering a real-time CPU usage should be 40 to 90%. Next criteria, that is the throughput. Throughput means it is maximum output. One measure of work is the number of processes that are completed per unit time, called as a throughput. Means it is the total number of processes completed per unit time, or rather say total amount of work done in a unit of time. This may ranges from 10 processes per second to 1 hour depending on the specific processes. The amount of work done by the CPU is known as throughput. The number of processes completed per unit time is called as throughput. For longer process, the throughput could be 1 process per hour. And for small or short processes, the throughput could be 10 processes per second. If the algorithm is given maximum throughput, then we can say that the algorithm is best scheduling algorithm. Next criteria, that is the turnaround time. The interval from the time of submission of process to the time of completion is the turnaround time. The turnaround time is calculated between the submission of process to the CPU to till the time of completion of the process execution. It is the amount of time taken to execute a particular process. That means the interval from the time of submission of processes to the time of completion of the processes. It is the sum of time the process spent in waiting queue, the time required for execution, and the time required for performing I/O operations. The best scheduling algorithm have a very less turnaround time. The next criteria, that is the waiting time. Waiting time is the sum of the periods spent waiting in the ready queue. The sum of the periods spent waiting in the ready queue, the amount of time a process has been waiting in the ready queue to acquire get control of the CPU, that is called as a waiting time. For best scheduling algorithm, the waiting time should be less. Next, that is the response time. Another measure is the time from the submission of request until the first response is produced. This measure is called as response time. The time it takes to start responding, not the time it takes to the output of the response. Means the amount of time it takes from when a request was submitted until the first response is produced. It is the time till the first response and not the completion of process. In general, CPU utilization and throughput are maximized and other factors are reduced for the proper optimization. For the best scheduling algorithm, the response time should be less. These are the 5 criteria which is used for the select best scheduling algorithm. Rather than there are 2 criteria, that is efficiency and deadline. The efficiency, the capacity of an algorithm to perform the task of scheduling in any condition is called as efficiency. The capacity of an algorithm to perform task of scheduling in any condition is called as a efficiency. And last criteria, that is the deadline. Deadline means the specific amount of time given to a process for its execution is known as deadline. If the process is completed during its deadline, then it is terminated automatically or normally. If the process is not terminated during its deadline, then it is sent back to the end of ready queue. Deadlines are generally provided in round-robin scheduling. Real-time system also use the concept of providing deadline to a processes. These are the important criteria it is used to select the which is the scheduling algorithm is best. Thank you.